Yo, what up, what up? Have you all checked out the new A$AP Rocky album yet? I have no doubts about it if you clicked on this video, because rap fans have been waiting for this album to drop for what feels like a million years. And here's the question: did the ultimate trendsetter of the rap industry manage to surprise us once again? Or did Don't Be Dumb completely fail to meet our expectations and turned out to be just a bland copy of what the rapper used to be one day? We're definitely gonna talk about it in this video, but not only this. In today's Don't Be Dumb review, we'll break down why A$AP Rocky is so loved all around the world. I mean, for those who are still skeptical, talk about what connects the PlayStation console and this album, what A$AP Rocky has in common with the rapper Rakim, how Rocky predicted back in 2013 that he'd be with Rihanna, and of course, we'll give this album a rating. By the way, at the beginning of the year, I started rating all the albums that I listen to every day on a 5-star scale in my Google spreadsheet. For the people who are here for the first time, you're on the I'm All Ears channel, where the idea is to share my experience after 10.5 years of listening to one new album every single day of my life. I talked about this in a more detailed way on this video. Make sure to check it out. It's pretty cool. And in that Google spreadsheet that I mentioned earlier, I keep a list of all the albums I've been listening to since 2015. Link in the description. On this channel, I try to cover not just rap, but many other genres too. Dive into music history and culture, and just share my favorite albums. Alright, time to get back to Don't Be Dumb. Let's go! To fully grasp the A$AP Rocky phenomenon, we can't just jump back to 2011 and mention his first mixtape. No. Not at all. We need to go back to the southern states of the US, to the city of Houston, Texas, and go back to the 90s, a time when the world only knew the East and the West coasts, while the Dirty South was on the periphery. The Houston scene was traditionally different from other southern scenes, with its slow, syrupy vibe, probably due to the widespread use of lean at that time. And that's when a guy named Robert Earl Davis Jr., who most rap fans know as DJ Screw, stepped onto the center of the southern scene. He started slowing down already existing rap tracks on his mixtape, adding scratches and sharp jumps back and forth in the track, which created a hypnotic, lethargic atmosphere. And if you know DJ Screw's work and listen to A$AP Rocky's first mixtape, Live, Love, A$AP, you don't need to be super clever to connect the dots and see the striking similarity on these two albums. Here's a DJ Screw track.
Hollering at my G's and players.
And here's a song from Rocky's first mixtape. But here's the thing. A$AP Rocky spent almost all his life in New York on the East Coast, and it's very symbolic that his parents named him Rakim and his sister Erica B, after the legendary rap duo Eric B and Rakim. So hip-hop was in A$AP Rocky's blood from childhood. If we're talking about A$AP Rocky's discography, we of course have to mention the already named first mixtape, which in my opinion kickstarted his career. What still amazes me about Live, Love, A$AP and mixtapes from the late 2000s and early 2010s is their simply unbeatable quality. Like, mixtapes are supposed to be free material recorded over already existing beats, and generally should have that teaser character, preparing you for a potential full album. But what A$AP Rocky showed, or Lil Wayne in his tape era, or for example Action Bronson on the Well Done mixtape with Static Selector, this stuff definitely deserves an album status. And the guests on the record aren't some no names either. There's a Schoolboy Q there, and a funk legend Space Ghost Perp. From this tape, I of course remember a track like Purple Swag. Remember that swag era? Purple swag, I'm in the zone, I'm getting dope. And of course, that cover with the American flag in the background. Good times. And then 2 years later, in 2013, his possibly most popular release came out, Long Live A$AP. And there, only 2 years into Rocky's career, 2 years, you already have Goldie, Fucking Problems, One Train, Fashion Killer, Drake and Kendrick on features, and that's some crazy popularity there. I can clearly remember the time when this album dropped. I was still a defender of old school rap at that time and didn't accept anything new. I didn't respect new rappers and only listened to Rakim and Big Daddy Kane. We all had that era in our lives, right? For me, back then, this A$AP Rocky album was the embodiment of evil. new rap trying to take over the golden era, the apocalypse, the end of the world. And especially, terrible memories for me come from a track on that album with Skrillex on the feature. I think it was called Wild for the Night. What a pile of garbage. Ugh. Also, back then, I didn't understand at all why A$AP Rocky was stretching the sounds of the words like that. When he said, "Oh, cleaned," that pissed me off so much then. But now, I quickly draw a parallel to the track Pocket Full of Stones by UGK and nod my head with respect and acknowledgement.
Got a pocket full of stones. Got a pocket full of stones.
I wish I had known that back in 2013, because that's some real style. From that album, I also remember the track One Train, where we all went to Rap Genius to see what Danny Brown meant when he said, "Bitch pussy smells like a penguin."
Obviously, I'm saying your bitch pussy smells a little fishy.
And the last thing I wanted to say about this album is the track Fashion Killer. On this song, Rocky raps. Her attitude Rihanna, she get it from her mama. She jiggle like Madonna, but she triple like Nirvana. So even back then, he was already shooting his shot in Rihanna's direction, as we see in the music video. And what's next? Well, next, we had the 2015 album At Long Last A$AP, where Rocky starts experimenting more with his sound and his style. A very underrated album that I considered my favorite from his catalog for a long time. And then we have his last album, Testing, from 2018. Not the rapper's best work, but with a hit, Praise the Lord, which collected numerous platinum awards. And from 2018, so for 8 years now, A$AP Rocky slowly teased his new release, but it just wouldn't come out and wouldn't come out. First, he had this incident with some guy in Sweden in 2019, for which the rapper spent a month in jail and was in Stockholm, Sweden for a long time. Then, over the last 3 years, he and Rihanna had 3 children, and he obviously devoted his time to fatherhood. And let's not forget that A$AP Rocky is a person known beyond rap music. In recent years, he's appeared in films, been a video game character, a designer, collabing with brands like Gucci, Puma, Bottega Veneta. So basically, you get why he kept postponing his album release in recent years. And finally, when everyone had lost hope that Don't Be Dumb would come out, the album dropped on January 16th, a week ago. And now we're gonna rate it. Since we've already talked a bit about Rocky's other work, I decided to do a tier list of the artist's solo discography at the end of this video. So if you want to find out where I rate Don't Be Dumb compared to his other releases, stick around till the end of the video. And since we've stopped here for a second, I'd like to say please subscribe to this channel, because I have tons of cool content about music in the pipeline. I'm working on my Ukrainian channel in the meantime, and I have some super interesting videos and content that I already dropped there and need to be posted here on the English channel. If you want to check my Ukrainian channel, you can find the link in the description. Also, make sure to drop a comment under the video. Alright, let's keep going. And let's start with the cover art of the album. The design was made by filmmaker and animator Tim Burton, who created such cinematic masterpieces as Edward Scissorhands, Ed Wood, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Beetlejuice, and popularized gothic subculture and black humor in films. On the cover, we see his interpretation of what A$AP Rocky is. At the top, we see his animated picture in the Babushka Boy outfit. On the bottom left is Rocky's image from the latest helicopter video, where he's rocking pink curlers in PlayStation graphics, flying in a helicopter and shouting through a loudspeaker about his new release. Under the album cover at the bottom, we see the signature A$AP Rocky and Tim Burton, which is a bit weird to me if I'm being honest, because here Burton is kind of implying that they made the whole album together, not just the cover. I mean, could have just left the signature there. And what do you think about it? Write your opinion in the comments. As for the guests present on the album, it's generally unclear who exactly did the production on this one. For now, this information is only publicly available for the singles Helicopter and Punk Rocky. And from the names that I've read, I've never heard of these guys before. By the way, A$AP Rocky, at least after releasing his famous Taylor Swift video that was shot in Kiev, Ukraine, established himself as one of the best rap music video directors, in my humble opinion. And in both Helicopter and Punk Rocky videos, we see how important it is in today's music not only to make amazing music, but also to create music videos that stick in your memory. These 3 videos Honestly, I can't compare it to anything else that's come out from rap musicians recently. And what impressed me the most is that PlayStation graphics, which he showed so well in Helicopter. Just look at these single covers. Damn, what nostalgia for everyone who played PlayStation as a kid. And I won't be surprised if A$AP Rocky makes some quality, full-scale movies in the future. By the way, he already confirmed that AI wasn't used to create the Helicopter video. Thanks God. As for the guests on the tracks, we got to hear several familiar voices such as Doichi, Tyler the Creator, Chance the Rapper, will.i.am, Gorillaz, and we even heard the signature ad-lib poo 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 from you know who. And now a few words about the production and the sound of the album. As already mentioned, there are no official credits on who was responsible for the sound yet, but at least from the Genius, we know that producers like Calvin Crash, Hit Boy, the dude who did the sound for Nas's recent albums, Luke Man, the Slay Squad group, Digital Nas, Zach Fogerty participated in creating the album. I've never heard of most of them in my life, but I can say one thing. The sound of the album, the sound of each song is of high quality. And maybe some of you might ask, what are these weird beats on the tracks Stop Snitching, Shut the Fuck Up, Air Force, Black DeMarco?
Had an anorexic model, bitch, she was a eater. If a nigga tryna slime me, I'ma do him grease.
And I'll tell you, this is exactly what this trend setting that people talk about so much in A$AP Rocky's context is all about. Plus, these beats, although weird, are mostly quality in my opinion. If we look at the production track by track, I definitely highlight the beats on Helicopter, some kind of version of the Splinter Cell game soundtrack with fat low sound and 808s, Stop Snitching with the bomb verse from Houston rapper Sauce Walker, the absolutely extraordinary and at the same time cacophonous Shut the Fuck Up with Slay Squad on the feature, a track that when you first listen to, you think, what the hell is this? And then after a few times you understand that it's insanely reminiscent of that on-site track on Kanye's Yeezus.
On site. On site.
And in my opinion, this is one of the coolest tracks on the whole album. You just have to get used to the slightly weird sound, give it a chance, and you'll feel its genius. And the chorus of Shut the Fuck Up sounds to me like a tiny reference to Onyx, but maybe I'm wrong and making things up. The track Punk Rocky, when it came out as a single, even though the video was phenomenal, I thought, hell no, this is bad. But somehow it fit into the album quite organically. Punk Rocky has nothing to do with punk rock, but could definitely be in the next FIFA 2027 game. It gives me this career mode vibes. Also, even though the track Robbery with Doichi was directly sampled from Duke Ellington Trio,
7 years, only dropped like 5 songs. Peace, love, bodyguard, big bodyguard, strong.
and there was not a lot of innovation in terms of melody, if we're being honest, I was still very glad to hear this jazz insertion. Both Rocky and Doichi dropped some very artistic bars on it and added some singing as well. And last, I'd like to highlight one of the best tracks on the album, a collaboration with Tyler, the Creator, with a very DJ Screw-like beat, and with Rocky delivering a fantastic triplet Memphis verse.
I'm lit. I wake up for season no Ritz. She wake up and making me grits.
So dope. One of the most magical joints on the album. And I'd also note that awesome beat that Rocky made in the collaboration with Space Ghost Perp on the track SWAT Team. So the production, for the most part, is very, very good. Maybe with some exceptions. And here, let's talk right away about a small drawback on the album, in my opinion. Everyone who's been waiting for Dumb Be Dumb for a very long time was sure that this release would be absolutely revolutionary in terms of experimentation. We all expected to hear a palette of all musical genres on the planet. Rock, electronics, jazz, funk, and much, much more. Or at least that's how the album was advertised. What did we end up getting? A couple of experiments like collab with Slay Squad, the jazz track with Doichi, and indie rock rap track on Punk Rocky. And in my opinion, the album we waited 8 years for. Though we all know that A$AP Rocky wasn't sitting in the studio all the 8 years and was doing some other stuff. Still, I expected something absolutely unique and phenomenal. Something like TPAB, but with even a wider genre diversity. And unfortunately, in my opinion, we didn't get that level of diversity. Plus, think about it, A$AP Rocky is almost 40 now. It's time to release something legendary. But what we got is just a very quality album, but not a 5+ star record, right? What do you think about it? Write your opinion in the comments. And to make sure I'm not being hated here, it's just my opinion and you might have a different one. What can be said about the lyrics on the album? Well, besides some masterful represent songs, there are several themes that create a red line throughout the album. First, I'd immediately note the Rihanna theme. It's nice to hear how warmly A$AP talks about Rihanna. For example, on the tracks Stay Here for Life, where Rocky talks about how fast time flies when he's with his loved one. Or on the song Don't Be Dumb, Trip Baby, a track from the time when he was trapped in Sweden because of that scandal I talked about at the beginning and didn't see Rihanna for a very long time. He says he'd give up all his popularity and success to never be so far from his woman again. But at the same time, on some tracks, he still manages to call Rihanna bitch several times. Well, I guess that's Rocky's 90s spirit talking.
That should be a crime against bald-head hoes. Why they wanna be bald? Nobody knows.
Okay, the second theme that really stands out among all the other tracks is the song Stole Ya Flow. And the topic is, drum roll, a Drake diss. I honestly feel kinda sorry for this guy at this point, who in the recent years, we all know, has already been dissed sufficiently. Mind you, I'm not on Drake's side in any way, especially musically. And on Stole Ya Flow, A$AP Rocky says, "First you stole my flow, so I stole your bitch. I can trust his soul, just my pole and my kids." So Drake stole Rocky's style and then Rocky stole Drake's bitch, meaning Rihanna, because back then Drake was in an on and off relationship with a singer. I mean, Drake stole his flow and he stole that Houston UGK's flow. Sounds just about right. And the third theme on the album is the theme of the status. Here I think everything is crystal clear. And we don't have any doubt that A$AP Rocky is this trendsetter, a man of many talents, a fashionista that everyone copies and tries to wish failure upon. And he tells everyone to shut up, because if you haven't reached similar success yourself, you have no right to criticize. Overall, my general impression of the album is very positive. The release definitely didn't disappoint. For the first time in 8 years, we got to see A$AP Rocky in the context of an official album. Heard pretty good sound experiments, tons of style in his excellent taste. Although throughout the album, we hear passive-aggressive responses to hate from journalists, critics, and so on. Still, this feeling that A$AP Rocky is a happy and successful person doesn't disappear at any stage of the album. And that can't help but make you happy for the dude. Alright, and now, just like I promised, I'd like to rate all A$AP Rocky albums by tiers. Let's start with Live Love A$AP, the mixtape that he dropped in 2011, the first and most legendary by the artist, which immediately goes into the S tier, in my opinion. I think there is no point arguing here. What's next? The 2013 Long Live A$AP, I guess I'll just put it in an A tier, because it's a very quality album, and from a commercial point of view, it was super successful. But just a bit too mainstream for my taste. And at least because of that track with Skrillex, it just can't be put into an S tier. Very influential album, no doubt about it. The 2015 At Long Last A$AP, actually my favorite from the list. I love this album very much, especially that track with Lil Wayne feature. What a jam. But I have to admit that in terms of influence, it didn't turn out like the 2011 mixtape. The 2018 Testing, in my opinion, is A$AP's worst work to this day, so we can put it into the B tier. And now, Don't Be Dumb. You know, I'm tempted to put it in the same A tier where almost all the other albums are, because it was very decent. High quality like most A$AP's work, with nice experimentation here and there, but nothing out of the ordinary. Alright, I guess that's where we stand with Don't Be Dumb. On the left and right, you can see 2 more videos that might interest you, so make sure you click on them as quick as possible because time is running out. And that's it from me. I'm out.